Friends, myself P.L. Narada, Assistant Professor, and today we are going to study a short poem or a lyric, Success is Counted Sweetest by Emily Dickinson. Emily Dickinson was born in Massachusetts in 1830. She was American poetess and lived a life of recalls. She wrote many poems, but her poems were not published until her death. She collected all the poems and made them her homemade collection. Success is Counted Sweetest is a beautiful lyric by Emily, and she wrote it in 1859, but it was published later in 1864 in the collection The Brooklyn Daily Union. Success is counted sweetest. The title of the poem, Success is Counted Sweetest, has a beautiful figure of speech that is known as alliteration. Success is counted sweetest. Alliteration, figure of speech, has the same consonant voice. Here we see success, sweetest. The repetition of S sound produces the effect of alliteration. The theme of the poem uses two images. One is of victorious army and the other is of a dying warriors. It makes the bold claim that success is best understood by those who fail, and illustrates this claim by side. It suggests that only one who has defeated can understand better. Dickinson often wrote poems with succinct moral message. And this poem immediately starts its message in clear terms. Success is counted sweetest by those who never succeed. The poetess says that one who has succeeded in his life does not know the value of success better, but the person who never succeed in his life knows the value of success more better. She gives the example of a person who requires nectar. To comprehend a nectar requires sorest need. Need, one who is needful. Sorest, very, requires to comprehend, understand. A person who is in need of nectar, he can understand the value of nectar better than the person who is not in the need. We can understand it. A student passes the examination with ease, or he got merit in 10th or 12th class. If somebody will ask to him, how did he achieve his success? The student will reply with ease and will say that it is very easy to pass or to qualify a exam. But if you will ask the student who has failed 3 or 4 times, and if you ask the student what is the value of success, then he will reply that it is very hard. To pass an exam is not easy. He will say that to pass an exam is a Herculean task. Herculean task means very difficult. The first stanza is complete observation and are dependent upon one another for complete understanding. Not one of all the purple host who took the flag today can tell the definition so clear of victory as he defeated dying on whose forbidden ear the distant strains of triumph but agonized and clear. A person who fails many times knows the value of success. A person who always gets success does not know the value of success. In the first stanza, we have cleared it, and now again, in the second stanza, the poet says, not one of all the purple host, a troop of soldiers, purple host, a troop of soldiers who took the flag today, who got victory. So clear. The troop of the soldiers who go triumph cannot tell the definition of the victory so clear as he is defeated dying. The defeated soldier who is dying, on whose forbidden ear, whose ears have forbidden the distant strain song of triumph, burst, agonize and clear. Who is agonize? Though the sound is clear, but he is not listening because the dying soldier's ear have forbidden to listen any sound. The poet says that we cannot get nectar easily. A winner cannot tell the value of triumph, but a person who has defeated knows the value much more than the winner. An army who has lost the battle can tell the value better than the victorian victory instead of the soldiers who go to triumph. Students, let us have a glance on critical comments of the poem. We see in the first stanza that the poem contains three quatrains written in iambic trimeter. Only line 5 in iambic tetrameter. Line number 5, we see not one of all the purple host. The above four lines are in iambic trimeter, but the line number 5 is iambic tetrameter. There are 4 meters, and the above 4 lines are in iambic trimeter. These 4 lines are written in iambic trimeter, and this is the 5th line. It is long line and it is written in tetrameter, iambic tetrameter. Iambic, we know iambic is a group of foot which contains 10 syllable, and first syllable is unstressed and second syllable 5 pairs, that is called iambic pentameter. And here iambic trimeter means tri means 3, tetra means 4. This line contains 3 iambic 3 put. Now see the title of the poem. Success. The poem's success theme is treated paradoxically. There is paradox. In the title, success is counted sweetest by those who never succeed. There is paradox. Paradox is a figure of speech in which opposite things are presented as parallel. Only those who can defeat can truly appreciate success. Success is most valued and best appreciated by those who never have it. This is a paradox typical of Dickinson's poetry, with success meaning more the less, that people enjoy it, and implying that having success makes it seems less significant. The first stanza second and third stanza are related. They are interrelated. They are dependent on each other. For this, I will read the second and third stanza again. Not one of all the purple host who took the flag today can tell the definition so clear of victory as he defeated, dying on whose forbidden ear the distant strains of triumph burst agonize and clear. Now, the poet used the words carefully. The poetess uses the words so carefully and mellifluous words. For example, we can see forbidden, strain. These are beautiful words. It expounds Emily's philosophy. The poem is an autobiographical poem because it expounds Emily's philosophy of life. She presents her ethical values in this poem. This brief poem preaches a profound philosophy based on human experiences. So, students, subscribe the channel and get new videos. Okay, thanks.